One of the big things that I'm truly looking forward to seeing in Star Wars Episode 9 has all to do with the cameos that will be making their way into this movie and how much of an impact they really will have on the story by J.J. Abrams. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one thing that a lot of people are very curious about, including myself here, has all to do with the character of Han Solo. Now, we've been hearing about this character and his involvement in this movie for the longest time now, and honestly, I think that this is a great way for J.J. Abrams to really fix part of the sequel trilogy. Maybe not the entire thing, but at least a good chunk of it. Now, in my opinion, one of the big mistakes in The Force Awakens is, of course, that we never got all three characters together on the big screen, Han, Luke, and Leia. Now, what's really intriguing about the character of Han Solo is that there is a big plan in place for this movie as to exactly how they're going to get things done by using unused footage of Han Solo from The Force Awakens, as well as other alternatives in the movie, in order to make it seamless and pretty much, to the point where you can't tell that it's actually modified footage. So, it's actually said that one of the big plans for Han Solo in the film is to use a new type of de-aging technology, already existing footage of Han Solo from The Force Awakens, in order to make one of the flashbacks between Han, Luke, and Leia more tangible. It's said that they will be changing many features of Han Solo for one of the sequences, in which they plan to change his hair color slightly as well as the age of his face. It's described that this is more around the lines of using CGI and emulated de-aging technology, which usually requires tracking markers on an actor's face. Another plan in store for Han Solo is to actually use another actor to dress up as the character for some of the odd angles and shots that are not available in the unused footage from Episode 7. This ranges from rear shots and distance shots that are not available from The Force Awakens. So this is where things start to get very interesting. It seems as though that Disney and Lucasfilm want to create a slightly younger Han Solo. Think Harrison Ford from the 1990s in the movie, let's say, for example, on the top of my head, The Fugitive. If you look at Han Solo, or should I say Harrison Ford, in The Fugitive, that's probably what they're aiming to go for. Salt and pepper hair, slightly younger looking, not entirely young like how he was in Return of the Jedi, but older. I think you guys get what I'm talking about. Now, that's the entire plan here in place for Episode 9, is to create a more younger version of Han Solo for the actual reunion scene between both Luke, Han, and of course, Leia. Now, the thing here is this. We do know that there are going to be multiple flashback scenes in this movie in order to really fill in the gaps in between the sequels and, of course, the originals. And it's really bringing up a lot of questions on whether or not J.J. Abrams is going to have this movie be more around the lines of a Godfather Part 2 format, where a lot of his flashbacks and a lot of it is based within present time. That's a possibility, or he could just find ways in order to use things sparingly when it comes to these flashback sequences. Now, as for Mark Hamill, we do know that he, as well, is doing a lot of de-aging technology work for the character of Luke Skywalker, but as far as Han Solo, this is where things begin to get a little confusing. Now, they're going to be using another actor, a younger actor, in order to do some of the actual odd shots for Han Solo that are not available in Episode 7. We're talking rear shots and distance shots for the character that are not actually in Episode 7 or even, on the unused footage of the actual movie. So when we go into Episode 9, this is J.J. Abrams' big plan here, is of course to bring us that piece of the sequel trilogy that is currently missing. In Episode 7, it's something that Mark Hamill has always wanted to see. All three main characters from the originals to actually be on screen together for one final movie and or scene. And now that this is the final installment of the Skywalker saga, you could tell that JJ really wants to make it special, and it only seems right? I think that this is most certainly going to be one of the big highlights of the movie that a lot of people are going to remember this movie for, is of course the fact that, well, they didn't do it in the first two movies, and now they're finding ways in order to do it in Episode 9. And I think it could very well serve as a way to fix a lot of the problems in, of course, the sequel trilogy. Like I say, it may not be enough for the character of Luke, but I think it's going to be enough for, pretty much just having a lot of respect for the original characters like Luke, Han, and Leia. So as far as Han Solo goes, you know, we do know that there are going to be scenes as well as the older version of him with a younger version of Ben Solo as well. So that's another thing to look forward to. They will be diving into Ben Solo's childhood here and there and in this movie as well. Like I say, I think that this is a great way to really create a more emotional impact on the viewer for The Force Awakens, in which Ben Solo kills his own father Han Solo, because to me, I think that it would have had a more emotional impact on me personally if I saw those two characters on the big screen prior to that exact sequence in which Han Solo dies. So, with that being said, guys, what do you think about everything below in the comments? And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.